A wealthy woman could buy everything, except a child. So one night, she stole her maid's newborn and raised him as her own. Years later, when the truth came out, the son was forced to choose. In the glittering city of Lagos, where mansions rise higher than the palms, and secrets are buried deeper than the ocean waves, there lived a woman named Madame Ephema. She was beautiful. She was wealthy. She had everything except the one thing that her heart desired most, a child. Her husband, Ibube, was one of the richest men in Lagos. Their mansion stood like a palace on Banana Island, guarded by tall gates and watchmen in black suits. But inside the mansion, silence reigned. For 10 years of marriage, no cry of a baby had ever echoed through those marble halls. Every day, Madame Ephema wore a mask of pride before the world. She threw the grandest parties, dressed in the richest fabrics, and walked like a queen among women. But behind closed doors, her tears soaked her pillow. For every woman she knew had children. Her friends would come to visit, their children tugging at their wrappers, their toddlers running around the sitting room, laughing, crying, breaking things. They would say, "Ephema, don't worry. God's time is the best." Another one would whisper, "Ah, but Ibube is patient oh." Other men would have married a second wife by now. Those words were daggers to her heart. For Chief Ibube had indeed begun to wander. His eyes had turned toward younger women. His patience was thinning. In Madame Ephema's house worked a maid, a young village girl named Ngozi. She was barely 20 when she came to Lagos, carrying only a small Ghana must-go bag and her dreams of survival. She cooked. She cleaned. She washed. She obeyed. She was invisible. Until, one night, Ngozi's belly began to swell. The house whispered. The drivers, the cooks, the other maids gossiped. Ngozi is pregnant oh. But who is the father? Probably one useless area boy. Look at her, a village girl carrying a bastard child in this rich man's house. When Madame Ephema discovered Ngozi's swollen belly, her rage was like fire. "Ngozi, you dare bring shame into my house? A maid, pregnant under my roof. Pack your things and leave at once." But just as Ngozi fell to her knees, weeping and begging, Ibube stepped forward. "Ephema, enough. She has no family here. No place to run. Throwing her out now will kill her and the child too. Let her stay, at least until she gives birth." Madame Ephema's lips trembled with silent fury. She said nothing. But deep inside, a seed of thought began to grow. That night, Madame Ephema could not sleep. She turned and turned, her barren womb aching at the thought of a crying infant soon to fill the servants' quarters. Finally, she spoke. "Ibube, what if the child Ngozi carries becomes ours? What if we raise it as our own flesh and blood? Ephema, that is a dangerous thought." "The girl may never agree," Ibube hesitated. "Then we will make her agree. You know my pain, Ibube. I need this child. Let us give him a name, a future, a father's house. And Ngozi, what can she give him? Poverty? Hunger? No. He will be ours." Ibube sighed heavily. He could not deny the sorrow in his wife's voice. And though his heart wrestled with doubt, at last, he nodded. That same night, Ngozi was summoned to the master's bedroom. Her heart pounded as she stood barefoot before her employers. "Ngozi, when your time comes, we want you to give the child to us. We will raise him as our own. He will live in wealth, bear a great name, and never know hunger," Madame Ephema said. Ibube said calmly, "You will not be thrown out. You will remain here, cared for, provided for. But the boy will belong to us. Think carefully, Ngozi, it is the best life you can give him." Tears streamed down Ngozi's face. She was young, alone, powerless. What choice did she truly have? Ngozi whispered, "If it will give him a better life, then I agree. But promise me you will love him as your own." Madame Ephema swear, "I swear it. He will be my son, my blood, my heart." And so, the pact was sealed not in shadows, but in the quiet glow of the master's room. When the child was born, Ibube lifted him high, and Madame Ephema smiled as though heaven had finally answered her prayers. The boy was named Obinna, father's heart. But for Ngozi, though she lived under the same roof, the boy became both her treasure and her eternal wound. Years passed. Seasons changed. And the tiny child born in the servants' quarters grew into a prince within marble walls. Obinna, the son of Chief Ibube, the joy of Madam Ifima's heart. From his earliest days, Obinna knew only love and abundance. His toys were imported from abroad, his clothes tailored from the finest fabrics, his birthday parties grand enough to block the entire street. To him, Madam Ifima was Mama. She fed him, clothed him, tucked him into silk sheets at night. But always, in the shadows, Ngozi was there. She tied his shoelaces when Madam Ifima was busy. She rocked him to sleep when fevers came. She whispered lullabies in Igbo, lullabies only a mother could know. And though she dared not call him my son, her eyes always betrayed her secret. One evening, at the long dining table, Obinna, then 6 years old, asked an innocent question. "Mama, why does Auntie Ngozi love me so much? She sings to me every night when you are not there." Madam Ifima's fork froze mid-air. Chief Ibube's eyes flickered with curiosity. And Ngozi, standing at the corner of the room with a tray in her hand, nearly dropped it. "She is just a servant, my son. She loves you because she is paid to care for you. But it feels different. When she sings, my heart feels warm." That night, Madam Ifima stormed into Ngozi's small quarters, her face burning with rage. "Stay away from him. You are a maid, nothing more. Do not dare to confuse him with your village songs and foolish affection." Ngozi wept. "I only give him the love you forget to give. He is my." She stopped herself, choking on the truth. "He is mine. Don't you ever forget the bargain you made in your poverty. If you breathe a word, I will throw you to the streets, and you will never see him again." From that night, Ngozi learned to hide her love in silence. But the bond between her and Obinna could never be severed. By the time Obinna turned 12, he was already brilliant, ambitious, and curious. His teachers called him a prodigy. His classmates envied him. But still, he carried questions in his heart. Why did Auntie Ngozi always look at him with tears in her eyes? Why did Mema Ifima sometimes act as if she were guarding a secret? One evening, after returning from school, Obinna found Ngozi washing clothes at the back of the mansion. He sat beside her. "Auntie, sometimes, when Mema is angry with me, you hold me like she never does. Tell me, why do you love me this much?" Ngozi's hands trembled in the soapy water. She looked into his young eyes that mirrored her own bloodline, and for a moment, she almost spoke the truth. "One day, Obinna, one day, you will understand. For now, just know that love is stronger than blood. But sometimes, blood is the reason love exists." Obinna nods. "I don't understand, but I feel it." From that day, a seed of doubt grew in Obinna's heart. Madam Ifima, watching from the shadows, grew afraid. She had everything to lose. Her position, her marriage, her legacy. If Obinna ever learned the truth, she would be destroyed. So she made a decision. She would do everything in her power to erase Ngozi's influence from his life. She forbade Ngozi from being alone with him. She stopped her from singing him lullabies. She even threatened to send Ngozi back to the village. But Ibube, who had grown fond of the faithful maid, refused. "Ngozi has served us well. Let her stay. The boy likes her. Do not create enemies where there are none." But enemies had already been created. Enemies not with knives, but with hearts. Hearts that would one day bleed against each other. When Obinna turned 15, the family traveled to their ancestral village for a festival. There, an old seer half-blind, her hair white like ash, caught sight of him in the crowd. She grabbed his hand and cried out, this boy is the son of two mothers. His destiny will tear one heart apart and crown the other. But beware, for when the truth is revealed, his choice will bring life to one, and death to the other." Madam Ifima laughed it off, pulling Obinna away. "Pay no attention to these old women and their foolish riddles." But Ngozi froze. Her heart thundered in her chest. For she knew, the spirits had spoken the truth. And so the years rolled on, with Obinna growing into a man of greatness. At 23, Obinna graduated as the top student of his university. Tech companies fought to hire him, newspapers called him the golden son of Lagos, and social media crowned him Obinna the genius. Investors lined up, women swooned, and Chief Ibube's chest swelled with pride. Chief Ibube boasting, "That's my son. My only son. He will take my empire to greater heights." Madam Ifema stood beside him, smiling like a queen whose crown had been polished. She had done it. She had silenced her enemies. Her son, her miracle child, was now the pride of Lagos. But in the crowd, Ngozi stood at the edge, wearing her plain wrapper, watching silently as the boy she birthed was celebrated as another woman's child. Her heart swelled with pride, and bled with sorrow. Obinna loved his mother Madam Ifema with all his heart. But as he grew older, he could not ignore the pull he felt toward Ngozi. Late at night, he would sneak into the servants' quarters, sit on the wooden stool beside her, and pour out his secrets. "Auntie, sometimes I feel like I don't belong. Like there's a piece of me missing. When Mama looks at me, I see pride. But when you look at me, I see love. Why is it different?" Ngozi's hands trembled. She longed to shout the truth, to tell him, "Because I carried you for 9 months, because your blood is my blood." But fear chained her tongue. "You are special, Obinna. Some love is born of pride, and some is born of sacrifice. Both are needed to make a man whole. You speak in riddles, Auntie. But my heart tells me, you are more than a maid to me." And in those words, the wall between the two mothers began to crumble. One evening, Madam Ifema saw Obinna and Ngozi laughing together at the back of the mansion. Rage boiled inside her. She stormed into her bedroom and confronted Chief Ibube. "Ibube, I will not stand by while that village maid steals my son's affection. She is poisoning him against me. Ifema, calm yourself. Ngozi has been nothing but loyal. You should be grateful she treats the boy well." Madam Ifema hiss. "Grateful? For what? For making him question me? For making him love her more than me?" But Chief Ibube waved her off. "You worry too much. Obinna knows who his real mother is." But Ifema knew, blood had a way of calling to blood. And one day, the truth might rise like smoke from a hidden fire. At 26, Obinna fell in love. Her name was Chiamaka, the daughter of a wealthy businessman. She was graceful, ambitious, and her beauty turned heads wherever she went. Chiamaka smiling. "Obinna, you are not just brilliant, you are different. I feel safe with you." Obinna said softly. "And I feel like I've known you all my life." Their love blossomed quickly, and the city buzzed with gossip. The heir of Chief Ibube was about to marry into another dynasty. Madam Ifema was overjoyed. "At last, my son will marry well. Our legacy will be untouchable." But Ngozi wept silently at night. For every step Obinna took into greatness, he drifted further from her reach. One night, Obinna returned home late. As he passed by the servants' quarters, he heard Ngozi weeping. He pushed open the door and found her clutching an old baby wrapper, the same wrapper she had once wrapped him in on the night of his birth. "Auntie, why are you crying? And what is that?" Ngozi's face drained of color. She tried to hide the cloth, but Obinna snatched it from her hands. Obinna frowned. "This cloth, why does it feel so familiar? Tell me the truth, Auntie. Who am I to you?" Ngozi's lips trembled. The truth clawed at her throat. But before she could speak, Madam Ifema's voice sliced through the darkness. "Enough. Obinna, leave this place at once." "Mama, what's going on here? Why are you both hiding things from me?" Madam Ifema said. "Go to your room, now." That night, Obinna tossed and turned in his bed. Questions haunted him. Whispers of truth circled his dreams. And for the first time, he looked at his mother with doubt. Unable to bear the torment any longer, Ngozi crept into the backyard at midnight. She lifted her hands to the sky, tears streaming down her face, and cried out, "O gods of the land, you see me. You know the truth I have carried in silence. Let the day come when Obinna must choose between the woman who bore him and the woman who stole him." Her cry pierced the heavens. And somewhere, the spirits listened. Obinna was now 28. The city adored him. His tech company had become one of the largest in Nigeria. And now, He was ready to take the next step. He invited Chiamaka, his beloved, to a gala dinner. Before the glittering crowd, under golden chandeliers, he knelt on one knee and asked, "Chiamaka, my love, will you marry me?" "Yes, Obinna, 1,000 times, yes." The city erupted with joy. The newspapers the next morning screamed, "The golden sun to wed the pearl of Lagos." But while the world celebrated, one heart bled in silence. Ngozi. That same night, after the celebrations, Ngozi crept into Obinna's study. She stood trembling in the doorway as he signed documents at his desk. Obinna looked up. "Auntie, you missed the party. Why didn't you come?" "My son, forgive me. But before you marry, you must know the truth." Obinna frowned. "The truth? What truth?" "You are not who you think you are. Obinna, you are my child. My blood. My son." "What are you saying?" "Auntie, this is madness." "Mama." Madam Ifema burst into the room. "Enough." Her face was red with rage. "Do not listen to this foolish woman. She is jealous. She wants to destroy you. She has always envied me." Ngozi cried. "No. I carried you for 9 months, Obinna. This woman stole you from my arms. She made me swear in poverty, but my blood has always known you. Look into my eyes. Do you not feel it?" And in that moment, the house cracked open. The mask was slipping, and Obinna's world began to tremble. 4 days, Obinna could not sleep. He confronted his father, Chief Ibube. "Father, tell me the truth. Am I Mama's child? Or hers?" "Obinna, sometimes, truth is not useful. What matters is who raised you, who gave you the life you have." Obinna shouts. "So it's true. You knew all along?" Chief Ibube did not answer. His silence was an answer of its own. The wedding day arrived. The cathedral overflowed with guests, politicians, billionaires, celebrities, all dressed in lace and gold. The bride walked in, glowing like the sun. Obinna stood tall at the altar. But then, a cry pierced the hall. Ngozi shouting, voice breaking. "Obinna, my son, stop this wedding. You must know the truth before you marry." The crowd froze. Cameras turned. Madam Ifema staggered forward, her face pale with fury. Madam Ifema screams, "Guards! Take that mad woman out of here. No. Let me speak. He is my son. I gave birth to him in this city. She took him from me and claimed him as hers." The church descended into madness. Some guests pulled Ngozi back, others cried out in disbelief. Reporters scribbled, cameras flashed. And in the middle of it all, Obinna stood frozen. His heart split in two. That night, Obinna locked himself in his room. He heard Madam Ifema begging at the door, heard Ngozi weeping in the corridor. He fell to his knees, clutching his head, screaming, "Who am I? Who is my mother? Why was my life built on lies?" And in the silence that followed, Ngozi's midnight curse returned to haunt him. Let the day come when Obinna must choose between the woman who bore him and the woman who stole him. The day had come, and Obinna's choice would change everything. Who is Obinna's true mother? 2 women, 1 son. Lagos society in shock. On social media, hashtags trended, #son of 2 mothers #. Talk shows debated it. Pastors preached about it. Market women gossiped. "Ha! I said it. Oh. How can a barren woman suddenly carry Bell after 10 years? It was a lie. May the gods punish liars. That poor maid deserves her son back." Chief Ibube tried to silence the storm with money. He bribed newspapers, called in favors. But even his wealth could not stop the river of gossip. And in the mansion, war had begun. For the first time in years, Ngozi entered the main sitting room not as a servant, but as a mother demanding her son. She faced Madam Ifema across the marble floor. "Give me back my child. For 28 years, I have swallowed tears. For 28 years, I have lived as a shadow in my own son's life. No more. Madam Ifema, you dare stand in my house and speak to me like this? You are nothing but a maid, a wretched girl I picked from the gutters." Ngozi shouts, "I was a mother before I was your maid. Blood calls to blood, Ifema, and you cannot cage blood forever. The air in the room thickened. Obinna stood between them, torn apart. Mama, Auntie, please, don't make me choose. You are both my mothers. Madam Ifema pointing at Ngozi. She is not your mother. She is a thief, trying to steal what I built for you. Ngozi screams. Gods of the land, hear me. If this woman speaks truth, let her live to see her grandchildren. But if she lies, let her womb remain cursed in the afterlife. Later that night, Obinna stormed into his father's study. His hands shook. His eyes burned. Obinna asked angrily, Father, no more lies. Who is my true mother? Ifema is my wife. She gave you her name, her wealth, her protection. But the truth, Obinna, the truth is that Ngozi bore you. In her pain, in her poverty, she birthed you. And Ifema took you. The next day, Obinna disappeared. He walked the streets of Lagos without his entourage, without his cars. He saw children clinging to their mothers at bus stops. He saw mothers carrying babies on their backs, selling groundnuts to survive. And his heart broke. Obinna talking to himself. Who am I? Am I the rich woman's pride, or the poor woman's son? If I choose one, I betray the other. If I choose both, I betray myself. For the first time in his life, Obinna wished he had never been born. The fight between Madam Ifema and Ngozi spilled into the public. Ifema, desperate to keep her legacy, went to the press. I raised Obinna. I gave him everything. Now, a greedy maid wants to reap where she did not sow. I am his only mother. But Ngozi had her truth too. She stood in the market, among common people, lifting her wrapper to show her stretch marks, the scars of childbirth. See, these marks are the proof. I carried him in my womb. I bled for him. My milk fed him before she took him. The market women rallied behind her. Blood is blood. Give the maid her son. And so Lagos became a battlefield. The rich against the poor. A barren queen against a grieving mother. And Obinna, trapped at the center, unable to resolve the fight, the families turned to the elders and the gods. A gathering was called in the ancestral village. The shrine was lit with palm oil lamps. The priest sat in white chalk, his eyes rolled back in trance. He placed kola nuts before the mothers and declared, One child. 2 mothers. One truth must prevail. The spirits demand. Obinna must choose. The son must open his mouth, and the gods will seal his words. Obinna trembled. Both women knelt before him. One in fine lace, her eyes burning with fear. One in faded wrapper, her eyes drowning in tears. The priest asked, Speak, Obinna. Who is your true mother? If I call one my mother, I betray the other. But hear me well, spirits of the land. I was born by one woman's blood, and raised by another woman's love. How can a child cut his heart in two? The crowd leaned in. The mothers' faces one fierce, one broken. Obinna turned, first to Madam Ifema. You gave me wealth, comfort, protection. Without you, I would not be who I am. For that, I will always honor you. You are my mother indeed. Then he turned to Ngozi. But you gave me life. Your blood runs in my veins. Your tears watered my destiny. No matter what the world says, you are my mother in truth. Priest voice echoes. The sun has spoken. The gods have sealed it. At those words, Madam Ifema screamed. Her body trembled. Her knees buckled. She fell to the ground, clutching her chest. No, no. I cannot lose him. He is all I have. I carried his destiny for 28 years. Obinna, my son. But instead of pulling away, Obinna ran to her. He lifted her in his arms like a child. Obinna pleads. Mama, you did not lose me. I am not leaving you. You raised me. You will always be my mother. But I cannot deny my blood. Don't make me choose between the two of you because in my heart, I need you both. For the first time in her proud life, Ifema wept not tears of anger, but of surrender. Ifema, your curse has returned to you, your womb remains empty. But your heart need not remain barren. Ngozi, your pain has been heard. The son you birthed is restored to your name. But remember, without Ephima's roof, he might not have survived. Both of you, lay down your pride. The mothers looked at one another, their eyes swollen with tears. And in that sacred silence, Ngozi did what no one expected. She stepped forward and took Ephima's hands. Ngozi said softly, "Sister, we have fought enough. Let us not destroy the very child we love. Ephima, you are his mother too. Let us share him, not break him." And Ephima, her pride shattered, her heart raw, whispered back, "Then let us both be his mothers. From today, we are one family." He became a man of compassion. He built homes for the poor, schools for orphans, hospitals for mothers. And the first hospital wing he opened, he named after both women, the Mothers of Destiny Foundation. And so it was that Obinna, the son of two mothers, found peace not in choosing one, but in honoring both. For a child is not only the blood that bore him, nor only the hands that raised him. A child is the bridge between the two. And though curses were spoken, though pride was broken, love rebuilt what lies tried to destroy. Hear this. Greed can steal, pride can wound, but only love can heal. This is the tale of the son of two mothers. A story of beauty, betrayal, greed, regret, and justice. And may its lesson echo in every heart that listens.